about the VOD and the silver screen. Kevin and Tom and Joe know all there is to know, from masterpieces to deep fried tacos. And if the movie sucks, you might hear them say, there's no telling where the guys will take you. Get ready for a spoiler. Won't say it twice, cause we already warned you. Better watch out, it's gonna ruin the plot. Real spoilers. Real spoilers. Real spoilers.
Broadcasting from the lush but not lavish studios located in the basement of the O'Keefe Institute for Advanced Film Snarkitude, but not really. It's episode 844. Tom forgot to watch the movie.
Oh no, that's the old blind man synopsis right there.
Another
Except,
simple.
just keep
favor.
bumping it.
Yeah.
Just keep bumping it, baby. Now, did anyone else forget to watch the movie this morning?
No, I watched it.
Did anyone else forget to watch it before 7 a.m.?
Nope, just me.
Well,
No?
and I didn't forget. I actually watched the wrong movie.
What did you watch?
I wasn't reading our chats properly, and so I saw Fight or Flight.
Wait, which one's
What's
that?
that? Is that good?
That's the Josh Hartnett bullet train on a plane.
Oh,
How
I'd
was
watch
that?
that.
It was not as. I didn't like it as much as I wanted to like it, but there's some
Okay.
good stuff there.
Tom,
Now,
well, I-
Joe,
Tom,
Joe
I
loves to be
watched
saying
Clown in the
something.
Cornfield.
Did you really?
No.
Oh, I thought you did. Oh my god, that would be so great. Which
We all watched it. And Joe watched the Mel Gibson airplane movie with Marky Mark, too, because he's just a big Gibson
Oh,
fan.
God.
So
That guy's the
Well,
worst. Both of those guys are
I
the worst.
watched A Simple Favor and Another Simple Favor, and then I listened to the Real Spoilers podcast about A Simple Favor. I'm ready
So
to
Matt,
go.
Matt will fill us in on everything we did not remember.
yeah, that sounds great. So
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
let's go around the table and everyone can introduce themselves.
This is Joe.
This is Kevin.
It's Matthew.
And this is Tom. And I should have said virtual table because we are recording remotely because I had to work and we had to record early because of Mother's Day. Shameless plugs. Don't forget we're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn, wherever you find a podcast. You can find us. While you're there, be sure and follow us so you never miss an episode. Maybe leave us a review. We do not have League of Show Sharers this week because we're recording early. So our apologies. You just did it out of the kindness of your heart. So,
Oh, we have a review.
Speaking of kindness of their hearts.
Yeah, it came in on Monday from Kismet Pizza. 5 stars. Love it.
Awesome. See? Doesn't
That's
have to
it.
be.
There
That's
you go.
perfect.
Doesn't have to
That's
be
exactly
a book.
what we're talking about.
Yeah. So, thank you, Kismet Pizza. And
Yes.
where was I? Oh yeah. Also, we have Patreon, patreon.com/Real Spoilers, where for $5 a month you get all sorts of bonus content, and we like
Eventually.
you extra eventually. And of course, you can watch Kevin Chew over on. We're calling it ChewTube now.
Literally, Kevin,
Cool.
you've been up since 7 o'clock this morning,
Okay.
and you decided
to,
to
be fair,
eat now.
To be fair, I thought we were recording 2 hours and 45 minutes ago.
To be
I
fair,
have not-
I thought we were recording tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. And so I have not eaten yet, and I'm like, it's 11:45. I have to eat.
It is a miracle that this episode even exists.
I
Between
can't believe we're all here.
So-
between recording on a different day, pushing back the time, seeing the wrong movies, like I don't like. It's a testament to our professionalism that we're still able to hobble together something resembling an episode.
Kevin messaged me, and we were going back and forth, and he was like, "Have you watched the movie yet?" And I was like, "Oh no, I'll watch it tonight." And he goes, "What?" And I was like, "No, I'll just watch it. I'll watch it tonight. I always watch the movies on Saturdays."
Yeah.
and then
And that was after talking to Tom. So I've already changed the schedule.
yeah, he's like, "Do you mind recording at 11:15?" I was like, "No, that's fine. Like, it's no big deal." And then I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. And he just literally goes, "What?" And I go, "What?" He goes, "No, we're recording today." And I was like, "God damn it! All right, I'm gonna go watch this movie."
Joe, have you seen A Simple Favor?
Was I not on that episode?
I don't think
no.
so. Was it Paul Harris was on that one?
Yes.
Yes, I believe
Okay,
so.
so I have seen the first one, but I completely forgot what the premise of I knew that like the Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick were like antagonists to each other, but I didn't remember the thing, like why they were.
Right.
And then when this movie opens with something that I was like, was this, it opens with like a flashback of Anna Kendrick kind of coming face to face with this nameless guy. And I was like, is this part of the first movie that I completely forgot about?
Hey, man, it's barely part of this one.
Yeah. It's also, I think it's interesting that this movie does absolutely no recap of the first
None.
movie in any way. They're like, "Fuck you, go watch it." Like everything's on streaming these days. We're not handing you any sort of
It is
information.
interesting that A Simple Favor is on Netflix,
Yeah.
but this is on Prime.
Well, I mean, I think it's just because it was a theatrical release and Netflix,
Oh,
licensed
sure.
it for however much time, and then
And that's a
MGM Amazon made this.
Right.
2018 movie. I mean, it's not like a 2 years later sequel. I wouldn't have remembered anything about that first one.
I
had
all
not
I
watched
remember
it the
is
night
them.
before.
I
gotta tell you, I liked the first
I
one,
love-
but I was really
I love-
murky on the details.
Yeah, same. And I love the first one. I've seen it twice, I think, because I rewatched it a year ago or so with my wife because she hadn't seen it, and I was like, "Oh, you will love this movie." And but yeah, like I had to go read the Wikipedia plot synopsis
same.
to refresh myself. Like, what happened in the first one? I'm like, oh,
The
yeah.
first one was like one of those sneaky little flicks that just flew under the radar.
Yeah, like I think it underperformed at the box office.
Was he coming off of Ghostbusters?
Yeah, I think
He must have
No,
been.
I think
was this
I think so.
post Ghostbusters?
I think that this
Really?
is post
2018.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so this is directed by Paul Feig,
It's
who's
we,
great. He
in
did
the industry we call it Postbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Busting did not make Paul Feig feel good.
It did not. I don't think it
No,
made
it-
anybody feel good.
I
Maybe
disagree.
Chris Hemsworth.
I think that's a
Hemsworth.
fun movie.
It is a fun movie.
I think
I don't care for
I
it.
think
but
the new Ghostbusters is a better story, but I think the Ghostbusters is a funnier movie.
I think the cast is better for the Girl Busters.
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you. Maybe the comedians are better in 2016, but I do love the Reitman rebooted Ghostbusters.
Do you
for the
like them
story, like
both?
Tom said. Charlie, I did not care for Ghostbusters. It had nothing to do with them being Lady Ghostbusters.
No.
I just,
Did you like the
There we go.
second Ghostbusters? Not
Ghostbusters 2?
Ice Planet or
Ice
whatever.
Frozen Empire or whatever.
Oh, I liked it.
The
Yeah.
second Ghostbusters.
I liked it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't. It was
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I think the
but
first
I
one
think
hit
I
the
was-
right nostalgia buttons, and that was about it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I liked it.
I'm sexist, so it's hard for me to. You know what I mean? Did I not like it, or is it
You just didn't
my?
like the idea of them taking a movie you loved, which is Ghostbusters answering the call, and then gender swapping it and casting all men. I totally understand.
Yeah. We finally got there in 2016, and then they
Yeah.
get 2 steps back.
Yeah,
You
what
know?
are you gonna do? So yeah, I don't think this. I think this movie like eked out a win, but just barely monetarily. But I think it really got a second life on VOD, and so
The original you're talking, or the first.
A simple favor. Back to the movie we're
Yes.
supposed to be talking about.
Right. Not the one we're talking about today. But
Correct. And so
No, we talked
previous.
about in 2018.
even saying the correct names of them feels like you're not.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you still have to clarify.
So would
But
Anyway.
I will say though that this movie would have dropped in theaters and made a quick $20-30 million.
I don't know that it would have.
for the controversy.
Yeah,
think it
I don't
still
know that it
would've.
would have made that much.
I think it
Oh, I think it easily would have dropped and made easily 20-30 million and then drop it on streaming in a few weeks.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's another question I've had with this new, as these streaming companies acquire studios, right? Netflix doesn't really put their stuff in theaters unless they want some sort of award
for
buzz behind
Oscars,
it.
yeah. Right.
I mean, MGM is one of the it's one of the oldest, right? Like oldest production studios in Hollywood.
over 100 years, right?
It has to be. So
They're
so now Amazon owns MGM, which was going to happen at some point. Honestly, I'm surprised with all of the hullabaloo around Hollywood dying or whatever bull the orange Cheeto tits man was spewing, that one of them, like that Elon Musk hasn't tried to go buy a studio or start his own studio. Honestly,
I think they don't see the value in that medium. I think to them it's like buying a printing press. I don't think that they care.
Ben Shapiro's got one.
Oh, you're right.
No,
He
that's
does
fair.
have one, doesn't
Yeah.
he?
But
Honestly, and
You're
I'm
right,
like, I'm
though.
not
I mean,
saying that's a
movies-
joke, but like he does have
Movies
one.
are dying, though. I don't think that most people think they can revive theaters. They're like, why would we do that when we have TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I think that's
what
what
they're
I'm
going
saying is
after.
like Bezos,
Yeah, but-
who owns this massive streaming service, went out and bought himself a studio. So now he's got a studio behind. Now he owns James Bond, which is a thing that I thought would never happen.
yeah.
That's because he just wants to like go, I don't know, have a cameo with.
It's not even that.
in James
Honestly,
Bond or
I am
something.
shocked through. I mean, the first Doctor No is in the 60s. It comes out in the 60s, I think, 64.
Yeah.
Maybe. The fact that the Broccoli family held on to those rights from studio to studio and never sold, and now they're going to ruin that property. Amazon is we're going to get a Moneypenny TV show. We're going to get a Q a Q TV show. We're going to get all of it's going to get so
Always
diluted.
wondered.
A Moneypenny
How did
one
he-
doesn't seem as bad given how they've set her up. Like
Yeah.
as she was like a double agent.
But
and
I
then-
think the reason Bezos bought it and Musk didn't try to get some is Musk doesn't own a streaming platform,
I guess that's true.
right? So he needs
Yeah.
the content.
That's fair. That makes sense. But we've talked about this before with streaming movies that are made for streaming services. They look weird. Like this one does not look like a theatrical release. This does not look the same.
You don't think so?
I thought
I
it
do
did.
not. No, I did. I think
You know what
there's like
didn't
a
look
weird
like a theatrical
gloss.
release was Fight or Flight. That looked.
Oh, really? Was
I
it?
mean, it was really weird. It looked like it was shot on an iPhone to me. Now I watched a screener link, so maybe it's different in theaters, but like it had a really it was too sharp. Like it was.
That's the way I
think
felt about
movies
this
in
one.
general are becoming that way.
Right.
Or not all of them, but
yeah.
But I think
that's
Matt's right, though. That's the problem, is that we're getting further and further away. If you go back and watch movies, and like I know, Joe, like you watch old movies all the time. If you watch movies from the 80s, movies from the 90s, even if they're not the best movies, you look at them, and I'm not trying to be totally dismissive, but you go like, this looks like a real movie. Like,
Right.
there's just a certain feeling that film has, and that, cinematographers like Dean Cundy, look at his...
Oh man, what a
his-
legend that guy.
Oh my gosh. I mean, decades and decades and all the movies, not just Jurassic Park, right? But like, he's shot so many movies over time and how amazing they look. And even if they're not the
he
best
shot
movies.
Halloween. He shot Back to the Future. I think
Halloween,
he shot The
yeah.
Thing. He did a lot
But
of
he's-
John Carpenter
but
stuff.
he's done more recent stuff too. But the point is, like, they're almost like journeymen, right? Like, you don't usually get like a Roger Deakins that's like a rock star cinematographer that only does stuff like,
Yeah.
Dune or the biggest movies ever, right? Usually they jump around from movie to movie to movie, and it may be a blockbuster, it may be an art house film. But one thing that stays consistent with these master cinematographers is you get a movie that has like incredible lighting and amazing angles, and it looks like a real film.
I do wonder how far away we are from that. Almost not AI so much, but like having a setup where the director has basically a camera and a computer and says, "Hey, I want the camera to move. Bop, bop, bop. This is the way I want it to move." They put it into a computer, and then it's just on a crane, and it just does it. Like I do wonder how far
sure.
away
I mean-
with AI and technology. Like I do wonder how far away we are from that.
3 weeks.
I think that's part of the reason too that movies look flat. Well, they're lit very flat,
Yeah.
so you can make all your choices in post, right? Lighting choices and background, and you'll see like from the filming, it's like a behind the scenes, and the background is just completely different. Not necessarily even
Yeah.
green screen, but they just like take it all out and change that window and this. And then so they light it all very flat so they can do the most changes, but then it's lit very flat and everything looks
There's that
very
weird
sharp.
picture of Sam Jackson in Winter Soldier where it's that scene when Cap walks into his apartment and Nick Fury's sitting in the chair, and you see it like on screen. He looks like he's sitting in the apartment, but when you see the behind the scenes, like the chair is like kind of what you see, and then the background is all green. Even the gun that he has in his hand is just like popsicle sticks with, like it's so strange that's and this one doesn't.
Which I don't think that's what they're doing here. I assume they shot on location, but it is very like you said, like sharp and digital looking.
Yeah.
Let me bring it back to James Bond here. So looking it up, like
I like it.
I know, right? So Linus Sandgren, who is one of the great cinematographers in modern days right now, he did No Time to Die, right?
Beautiful
movie.
movie.
It's a great looking movie. And he also went and did Saltburn, which is an Oscar darling, but it's not a blockbuster movie, right? But like
Sure.
it's a good looking movie, right? And like it looks like it's on film. It looks like it's set in the time period that is appropriate for the story.
I think we
right?
talked about Chamber Pieces, right? Like that movie basically takes place on that family's compound.
A lot of it does,
Yeah.
sure. A lot of it does. But you know what I mean? It has that grain to it, right? And like that movie may have even been, I'm not sure if it was on film or on digital, but either way, it looked like it had the look of what we grew up with as recognizing as film.
Yeah.
And so you have someone like he did Babylon and La La Land, big movies
yes.
for Damien
Blah, blah,
Chazelle.
Land.
I know. I just had to let you get one
Thank
in.
you, thank
But then, so he did those more artistic movies, but then also did the Nutcracker and the Four Realms for Disney, which is a huge, big budget movie, and then also did First Man, which is a little bit bigger budget, but still Damien Chazelle, a little more art house. David O. Russell, he directed, or he was the DP for American Hustle, Joy, which we do have an episode
the
on
movie
that.
about a
We don't talk
vacuum
about that.
cleaner.
but the point is, like, these cinematographers, the great cinematographers like Sandgren or Deakins or whoever, like they, no matter if they jump around from big movie, art house movie, whatever, like you're going to get these amazing. Larry Fong, for instance.
Larry
right?
Fong
He's
is a good example.
He's a Zack Snyder cinematographer. He has done huge movies, right? And no matter if the movie is not that great
Garbage.
or critically revered, but they look incredible, right? And so these cinematographers have an eye and they know how to do that. But I think a lot of times now these cinematographers coming up today, and again, not trying to be completely dismissive, they're still great up-and-comers out there, right, that respect the medium and grew up studying it or whatever. But a lot of movies for streaming, I see them and grew up studying it or whatever.
Sure.
But a lot of movies, and they just don't have, because they're probably, but
It almost looks like a TV show. That's what this looked like. It looked like an episode of CSI.
But they're pulling a lot of cinematographers from TV. I'm not talking to this film specifically, but again, if you're pumping out stuff for streaming, show after movie
Right.
after movie, like they got to have people to work on this stuff, right? And you can't get Dean Cundy, you can't get Roger Deakins, you can't get on every single project, right? So they're not going to have these storied, like Dean Cundy from the 70s, like you can't. They don't have the
He
experience.
created that
right?
shot in Halloween. That style of filmmaking didn't exist until Dean Cundy created it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, it's right. It's prolific, and so anyway, the point is, like, movies today, it's not just a symptom of this movie or Amazon Prime. It's like today, movies just don't look the same.
No, they don't. And to me, this one did look like a TV show. It
Can I
looked
tell
like
you when I knew I was in trouble, when I knew this movie was gonna be bad.
Okay.
The kid runs in and he says, "You monogrammed my shirt?"
Yep.
And his shirt is not monogrammed.
It's not.
It
It's
is his
his
name.
It is just written on there.
And they kept saying it, and she said it. She's like, "Well, if it's monogrammed or whatever," and I'm like, "You idiot!"
I
Well,
expect,
that's why we
does.
brought you on, Matt.
I expect that
Yeah.
from the children, but not from Anna Kendrick.
Yes, super mom.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. So just a little background. The first movie is Anna Kendrick is like a mom blogger, but she's also into true crime. She gets caught up in Blake Lively's web of like deceit, and a crime occurs, and Anna Kendrick ends up outsmarting Blake Lively for a murder and puts her in jail. And that's how this one picks up. Is she's written this book about the experience. The book is selling moderately well, I guess.
she gets. She stops all her social media stuff as soon as the book comes out, and I think that
Is she a mommy blogger in the first one, Matt?
Mommy vlogger.
Yes,
She's got a
yeah. She has like a
cooking
cooking
show.
and crafts show.
Yeah, what's
Okay.
Henry? It's Henry Goulding, right?
Golding.
Golding
Yeah.
mentions about
And,
the muffins or whatever.
Yeah, Blake Lively is basically going to run an insurance scam. But I don't. I that was a problem I had with the first one. Or a thing I didn't understand is when she decided, because her twin sister, who you think or you don't know about, you don't know that she has a twin
Right,
sister.
that's the
Turns out
twist
she
in the
she
first
does, and the twin sister calls her to come meet her, and she's going to tell the cops that when they were children, they burned down their house and killed their father. And so Blake Lively decides, well, I'm just going to kill my twin sister and go on the run. But I could never figure out when she decided that it was an insurance scam. Was it just after she killed the twin sister? She's like, oh, I'll just pretend I'm dead. Or did she plan that before? Doesn't really matter. It's just a thing I was thinking about. And
Which is kind of the premise of Gone Girl, right? Like she fakes her death until spoilers for Gone Girl.
Yeah.
Oh.
just to hurt the
Just to mess
husband,
with Ben
I think.
Affleck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And frame
Yeah.
him for the murder.
Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
And I'll say what you guys said
With
about
the
the
dating grin.
the
Perfect
book
casting.
seems to me like I would have enjoyed it more. I thought, because you guys were saying things about Anna Kendrick's character that you understood the book to flesh out a little more, that she's supposed to be weird, like a weirder, more socially awkward person who would have like almost a stalking relationship with Blake Lively,
Which they
And I
talk
didn't
about
feel like
a
that.
lot in this one, in the sequel.
Right, and I never felt like the movie. I thought in the movie it was just she was just a normal lady whose husband had died, so she was kind of lonely, but like was just sort of enamored. It did. I never took Anna Kendrick's character to supposed to have any sort of like, although she does have, I guess, sex with her brother, which they think is just the funniest.
The fact that
Gosh
they go
darn
back
thing.
to that joke in this one,
We'll get there in the fact that I think it's a little questionable whether or not that's a funny joke, just to circle back to that. Like,
It is
just to have a
not.
I'm not sure that sexual assault for the sake of a callback is a good
I don't know that it's
joke,
sexual assault.
but
Oh,
you don't know
Oh,
that
you
that's
mean the
sexual
you mean the
assault?
other thing?
And this
We'll
one,
get there, but
because
yeah,
to
okay,
do a
okay.
callback,
I got
they,
you.
I mean,
This,
that's
I will
pretty
say,
messed up.
it's a very weird movie in like language in general. Henry Goulding just running around for the entire time he's on screen talking about how I that one and I
just
that
playing
one.
a different guy.
Yeah, it's very
Completely different guy.
Yeah.
I guess it really messed him up, though, everything that happened in the first movie,
Man,
right?
I feel like everybody in this is pretty much a different character, and not through means of like growth necessarily.
I think the main characters are basically the same, right? Or is she weirder in this one?
Well,
Anna Kendrick-
she
Anna
seems more
Kendrick being
normal
weird.
in this.
Blake-
I think she seems more adjusted in this one, honestly.
but by the end of the movie, Blake Lively was going to kill Anna Kendrick. She
Yeah.
shot the husband, I assume to kill him or whatever. She was just bad. I mean, there was no, and then the way that they're making her more of like a anti-hero.
Well, she's the hero by the end of this. She's the
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, which I
And
think
they're
is
just
weird.
buds. Yeah.
I felt like
and then
this,
Anna Kendrick.
like I
Go ahead.
So overall, I liked this movie. It was an enjoyable watch. It's not.
It was entertaining.
It's not near as good as the first one.
No.
And I felt like everyone in the movie was too self-aware. Like it's like they were like they were like caricatures of themselves, and I get why they built the mystery around the Blake Lively character again, because they wanted Blake Lively back in the movie, but I really think they probably could have made a better movie by just showing us the next Anna Kendrick adventure.
I agree.
Yes, agreed.
But
I mean, I
doesn't-
think
even. Go ahead, Matt.
You do something almost like a Silence of the Lambs, right?
Yeah.
Just the next case.
She goes to Blake Lively to get
Sure,
Inside
yeah.
or
that's a
something
good
like
point.
that.
Yeah.
I do
'Cause
like
she,
that idea.
I feel that Blake Lively's character's fairly irredeemable by the end of the first one without doing something. She doesn't do anything to be a better.
She's not
I don't
really
know.
redeemable at the end of this movie.
No, but I will concede that I think just getting them back together and having a ridiculous reason she's able to get out, and even a more ridiculous reason to have them get back together, like, it's just fun. It's a silly movie. It's a comedy. I don't know.
I think I talked about it last week. I watched Drop, which was really good. It's a lot of fun. It's very Hitchcockian in its tone. This, I feel like, had like Hitchcock sprinkled in there. So you know Blake Lively this entire we find out that Blake Lively gets out of jail.
Tom's face.
She gets out of jail. She now is getting remarried to some mafia dude in Italy. And she has invited Anna Kendrick to come with her on this wedding. And Anna Kendrick is like, what is happening? So I will give Blake Lively credit. The way she plays this character, Hope is this character's name. You think, she'll say things, and Anna Kendrick is like, I don't like the way you said that. And she's like, look, I'm not going to. But, like, you don't know, because Anna Kendrick's character did put Blake Lively in jail for 5 years. She took her son away for 5 years. So
Hey. Now, Blake made those choices. Emily made those choices, Joe.
That's true.
So who's really responsible?
Wait, who made. No. Hope is this
Emily
character.
is Hope.
Emily and Hope
Her-
are the.
yeah.
Sorry,
yeah,
it's
okay.
very
I was thinking
confusing.
Emily was the other sister.
No, Faith. The sisters are Hope,
Faith.
Faith, and Charity.
Charity.
Yeah.
Is
So-
it easier to go into this movie spoiling the end up front? You know what I mean? So you don't have to like dance around everything as you talk about
Yeah, that's fine.
the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a third sister that nobody talked, which is like
And
Murder
that's-
She Wrote 101. It's
That's
like
the
there's a
biggest
third
problem with this
sister.
movie at the end of the day. I agree with you 100%. If they would just have Anna Kendrick going on her next adventure with completely different people,
Or
have Blake
even
Lively come in there
have Blake Lively show up
no, that's fine.
and then
but what
have
I mean is
Anna
that
Kendrick
the
solve it
fact that
again.
They went back to the well. They did the thing where they're like, oh, but there's another one. Like they did the thing where they're like, you do the exact same thing as in the first one, and be like, but there's more. And I think
They're
that's
gonna
a
run
little
out of
bit
sisters
of a
eventually.
Well, it's a little bit of a cheat. I mean, you definitely can't do it a third time. If you do, that's just an instant fail. But
I mean, they
this
did
movie-
talk about the third sister in the first
They
movie.
did.
I mean, it's
okay,
why they
I was
going
going
to
to ask that
tattoos.
if they mentioned the third sister in the first
I
movie.
know, but it's such
I'm-
a retcon, though. I mean, they talk about her, but the fact that they'd be like, oh, but wait, like, okay, let's just spoil the first one. Okay, pause this for a few minutes if you don't want to spoil the first one. But the whole
Insane to be listening to this episode.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
It really is. If you
But the-
haven't seen the first one and you're listening and you care remotely, you're a sociopath. Like, you just need to know
But
that.
the whole point, Matt remembers it way better than me, but the whole point of the first one, the twist, the reveal, is that Blake Lively has a twin sister. Right?
Which is
Like-
already pretty lame as far as
Right,
mysteries
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But but it is, but
But
it is, right?
I
So
think
like,
you-
but you
you
did
could-
it. It works.
You could almost say the first movie is somewhat of a spoof of the mystery
Yeah.
genre. Not
Yeah,
fully,
100%.
but
yeah.
I think the reason
to
the
some
first
degree.
one works is because of the tone, right? They
Yeah.
really nail the tone, and so you're not really invested in it as like this big intense mystery. So when they go, "Oh, there's a twin," you're just like, "Yeah, that's fine." You know,
Whatever.
Like
Yeah, it's
I,
the comedy.
Yeah, like
the dynamic.
I didn't think this was written by Arthur Conan Doyle. Like I'm okay with that, right?
and if this was Austin Powers, a third sister
Makes
is very
complete
funny.
sense.
Yeah.
100%. If this is satire, to be like, oh, remember that first one where spoofing? It's like, oh, we just did it and added on to it, right?
Yeah.
And so the first one works. It's fun. It's a good dynamic. It's whatever. It's a good movie. But like to go back to that exact same well and just be like, oh, but wait, there was a third. Like that is, I think, what cheapens it. It's still an entertaining movie. It's fun. The actors seem like they're having fun, but I do think it loses the point for it being like, oh, but that third one we
but
talked about.
wait,
the dying
there's more.
child.
Another thing. Okay, so since we're spoiling it up
We've
front,
done it.
the man she's marrying, that Emily is marrying, is actually a gay man and she is his cover because he's in this crime family. He can't come out.
Well, not only
So
that,
that's-
but he's in love with the son of the other crime family.
Right.
It's a Romeo and Juliet for the mafia.
Which-
Romeo and Romeo.
I just
I'm sorry. Thank you. Yes.
feel it's it was Romeo and Juliet, not Romeo and Romeo. That's what my sign says. But that just feels so out of character to me that Emily would, because that 20 or whatever when they were in their 20s,
Yeah.
she went to Europe and met this man and was his beard or whatever. That just doesn't seem like something she would. Her whole thing is that she's a selfish monster.
Yeah, the look on her face when she it says go to the bathroom in 20 seconds, knock on the door.
Right.
When they open the door and there's the other guy in the bathroom and they embrace, and she has this moment where she's like, "Oh, that's so sweet."
That is a good point. The fact that she'd be that sweet to do that for them is out of character.
Completely
Yeah.
out of character.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's
So what I thought was going to happen, and I
Tell-
like my
yep,
version
I'm with
better.
you. Keep going.
I thought it was going to be her son was killing them.
Oh.
That it was especially because when the grandma shows up and she's like, "You're a demon spawn." I thought it was going
Yeah.
to be like the grandma's right. He is a demon spawn, and that he's killing everyone so he can get back to his mother. So he kills
Interesting.
he kills the dad. He kills the new husband, and
I would love if red herrings in this were set up more, because I couldn't figure out why the publicist character existed.
Okay. I have to believe they wanted Nicole Byers for that role. She's a very funny stand-up comedian.
This feels dangerous.
I know it does,
Yeah.
but it's not about the look of the person. It's about the way she spoke. If you ever watch Nicole Byers do stand-up or host a show, she just has this very different sounding voice, this very high inflection, and this very distinct laugh.
If
It
the
felt like this
casting
woman-
call said a Nicole Byers type,
Yes.
that would not shock me.
Yes, and that is what but she's there, but she's never there.
Well, somebody I went look and someone online was like, "Well, I think she's just supposed to be a red herring, that she's killing everyone to make the book sell better," which is I'm sure, but I don't think the movie
never really
sets
hints
that
at
up.
that. Yeah, that wouldn't
Right,
be a
and I
bad
think-
way to go, but it's not really what the movie does.
At all.
And I think the
never
son would have
thought
been
for a
good
second
too.
it was
Yeah.
the publicist.
No.
It
I
didn't-
thought-
Yeah.
So we get to the whole wedding thing. Everything they're at the thing after the wedding, the party after the wedding.
Reception.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
First off, the wedding
The-
itself,
the-
the wedding
the-
itself is clearly designed just for the film.
100%.
viewer, because
100%.
it's on this rock pier that comes
Like
out of
narrow
the ocean.
mountaintop.
It looks beautiful on film, but they can only sit people 4 across. So there's 100 people there. So the people at the back, once you get past the third row, nobody's going to be able to see anything. I mean, the event planner in me is just no.
This was terrible.
This is, you designed your entire wedding for Instagram and you didn't give one concern to the
Which
people
does
in
play
attendance.
into the Blake Lively character.
that
I was
seems
gonna
fine. That-
say,
yeah.
Do you really? What about when the movie started off and she's like, "I'm going to be suing you all."
Yeah.
I'm like,
It was a little-
I was just if it was that easy for people who commit crimes to stop true crime novels from coming out,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and it's not we know for a fact that Anna Kendrick was in the middle of all of that.
yeah.
So it's
It's-
not
and
like
she
she's
was kidding.
It's a memoir.
making stuff up.
Yeah, it's a
She
memoir,
was there.
apparently, yeah.
It happened to her. So we get to the reception, and the new husband runs and he gets shot. I thought it was all a setup. When
Sure.
all of the
Oh,
reveals start coming out, I was like, oh, he's not, it was all a setup to get them both off the board so they could leave Italy together.
And the way he gets shot and then he falls into a shed that explodes.
fireworks.
The most
Shed,
real life Looney Tune thing I've ever seen.
And I don't know. I wonder now, were we supposed to think, oh, that's too elaborate, it's fake? Or was it a way to be okay, he's definitely dead?
I thought it was too elaborate. It's fake. because the guy that comes when they're all, when Anna Kendrick sees it and she runs back, she's like, they need help. The boy, the secret boyfriend is the one that walks up and says, no, he's dead. And I was like, once you find out the reveal that they're a couple, I was like, oh, this is all a setup.
So here's the thing: if the reveal is that they're a couple, right? That she's
in secret,
she's a beard and was just married. Why did he tear up the prenup?
Maybe as like payment to her.
I mean, why?
Yeah, I don't know.
And also when they're like, "Oh, you had him tear up the prenup, so then when you killed him, you would get it."
Oh wait, no, wait. At the wedding,
hang on. Prenups typically are like for if you leave and cheat, or like if the person dies.
Not if you
right?
die.
If the person dies, you get
Right.
everything.
Oh, sure,
so like
sure.
if she was planning on killing him, she would not need to manipulate him to tear up the prenup.
I had the same question.
I do wonder though,
Prenups
because
don't-
that's not Hope. At the wedding, it's not Hope.
Okay.
Well, she's confused, and that makes sense.
So
that
I think the Allison Janney's character, the aunt of this entire movie, we find out that she is blackmailing the dude. So I wonder if that was part. They never say this. We're just making this up.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was part of the blackmail deal. It's like, if you don't burn up that prenup, I'm going to tell everybody that you're gay. Because she knows. Allison Janney knows that he's gay.
But if her
The
plan
aunt
is to
had-
kill him anyway, she doesn't need the prenup.
That is fair.
Destroyed.
That is correct.
Right.
Yeah.
I have. Okay, wait. Let me back up a little bit. When she's doing the book signing,
Yeah.
later there's an FBI agent who was lovely. She was very funny.
but also useless in the plot of this
Yes,
movie.
right. And
she didn't.
Well, so
I
it's
think-
it's a red herring because the detective never says her name, never
Yeah.
says like this is what she looks like. So you're
That's true.
led
You're
to
supposed to
assume
think,
that
is
like
she
it's not the
really-
real FBI
yeah.
agent.
True.
But she shows a picture of the day of the book reading or whatever,
Yeah.
of the aunt meeting with Charity,
Yes.
the third sister we find out isn't dead. Why? Why were the aunt and the sister around the corner from the book signing?
I thought they were going after Stephanie.
Were they?
I think so. I think Stephanie is the linchpin to this whole. Stephanie is Anna Kendrick's character, is the linchpin to this whole thing. Like, because they're
So
gonna
did
they're gonna pin
Charity-
everything on her.
they gotta pin it on her.
But okay, well, how do they do that?
Well, they were gonna
Because
kill
they
her.
didn't even know she was coming to the wedding. Or they're just going to kill her at the book?
No, they were planning. That's a good point, though. Why did they didn't know Emily was going to invite her, right? So
And that's another question I have. When did Emily invite the mom to the wedding, who just happened to bring the
She
aunt?
did invite the mom. The fiance's mom invited the
Yes.
mom.
When did the fiance's mom invite Emily's mom?
wait a minute. So are you saying that basically all these random coincidences had to happen for this plan to even come together?
I mean, I'm not going to. I think that is what I am getting. I'm
hold
not
on,
going to say that I am smarter than all these people and I see the biggest holes in their movie, but that is how I feel right
But the
now.
aunt had to have the aunt had to have orchestrated, because you see the FBI agent tailing them, and she gets a picture of the aunt and not Emily, the third
Right.
sister that we talked about in the beginning. So the aunt
And it has to
had
be Emily at the book signing
It is Emily at the book signing.
because she knows that. I mean, she's not surprised Stephanie showed up. You know what I mean?
Well, because Emily says, I have these high-powered lawyers. It didn't take them long to get me out.
for sure. That's Emily. No, that's Emily
Yeah.
for sure. What I'm saying is, though, the aunt had to have planted the idea with the mother-in-law to get the mom there and all that. She
I
orchestrated
would
it.
think so, right?
It has
Like
to.
the
There's no
mom
other.
didn't go and investigate and just find that she whatever. Like the aunt somehow fed her that information so that she would invite her.
But why would well, okay, maybe it's okay. So plausibly the aunt, but how would she even know Emily's getting married? Because I
think. I
assumed
mean,
Emily
I think
got
it's kind of the way it looks is like this is a big deal.
She probably invited her aunt, maybe not the mom, but right?
She
Wouldn't
doesn't know
She
the
doesn't
aunt.
know the aunt exists.
Oh, she didn't know the aunt at
Well,
all.
she
She
could have
says,
known.
I thought-
she could have known that she's getting married because Emily shows up at the book reading, and that's live streamed, and it goes viral, and like that's
That's
a very
true.
public.
But they were around the corner.
it's the same
Oh,
thing.
gotcha.
Yeah, but
okay,
the
that
aunt
part.
and
Yeah.
And yes,
Charity
she
are around
doesn't
the
know about
corner.
the aunt because she says, Emily says at the like rehearsal dinner, "I thought Mom made you up." So she does not know.
Yeah, we get that flashback,
Oh.
and Allison Janney's character takes the third baby and bolts
Right.
while.
Gosh, someone is listening to this that heard the one line of dialogue that like,
Yeah.
clears all of this
frustrating
up.
right now.
Don't worry,
So-
they will say it in the YouTube.
They will
comments,
have no have
then-
no
I
fear.
hope
and then
so.
everyone else will pile on, pretending like they knew it the whole time. So,
Right.
this is
Now,
just
will
how we
they-
figure out what it really happens in movies.
Will they say the part about why Nikki is totally over his dad being murdered the
Very
night
quickly.
before?
Oh my gosh! I seriously
Very
though,
quickly,
like,
he's like, "I'm gonna go play with my drone." They're like, "All right,
the
buddy."
fact I know the fact that the next day, like, of course, it's like, oh, you've got all these people together and we're out of the country and whatever. I get it, like the show must go on type of thing, but like being a responsible human being,
Right.
like your son is there and his dad just got killed, like to just do it the next day and have him there, and it's ridiculous. That
Man,
that
I
part-
was at a wedding where a groomsman died the night before
Are you fucking
the
serious?
wedding. Yeah, yeah.
Did they go through with the wedding?
Yeah. I mean, they couldn't.
I mean, I
they-
guess you
I don't know
can't.
what else they
Yeah.
could have done. It was rough, and I mean, what else can you do but just feel?
Terrible.
It was rough. Yeah.
But if the son of the person getting married, their dad dies, would you literally have them be there, sitting there, watching it all the next
seem
day?
fine.
Like,
Yeah, he totally
okay,
seemed
right?
fine.
That's
Um,
an interesting thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so they
I
basically
did a
they
show
put
where it was the Beach Boys and the Temptations, and the Temptations, I think, bass player died the night before,
oh my god,
and they just called the Union Hall, and they were like, "Send us another bass player." Yeah, like
God.
That's how people treat bass players.
That's fair. I mean, if you want to be treated better, he should have played something besides the bass. Yeah,
Slap
an
at the
instrument.
bass.
yeah. But I guess that's where they do have a song where they say, and the beat goes on. So
It does. It does.
So the whole thing is the groom dies right after the wedding, and then Anna Kendrick is the suspect.
Yeah, so they
now.
put Anna Kendrick on house arrest, well, room arrest.
Right.
They
Italy
take
is
away
very, very bad at house arrest.
terrible.
Yes, very bad.
Terrible.
And no matter what you do, you just go back to house arrest.
Yeah,
even if you stab.
Oh, did you just attack someone?
yeah,
You're not
you
going
stay,
to jail. You're going back to
Here's
house
the whole
arrest.
thing, right? They take her passport and they take her phone. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
fine. They didn't take her laptop. Her laptop is a MacBook.
yeah.
She could very
Well.
easily make a phone call on that laptop, and she doesn't. Like
She
you know,
can't figure
it's-
these things out.
She's just a girl,
Technology.
Joe. She's just
Yeah.
a girl.
Sorry, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But no, it is a little bit ridiculous in that regard. The fact that they just keep her on house arrest, and no matter what she does,
Yeah,
they're
they
just
think
like,
she
"Oh,
murdered the crime boss of this mafia family, and then they think she stabbed the widow on
oh,
top of
tisk,
it.
tisk. You go back to
That's
house
how
arrest
these
now.
liberal European countries are. That's,
Yeah.
So the crime family obviously has a lot of pull, and so let's say the cops, are in their pocket. Everyone is working around this crime family to where it's like she can't just go to the cops. You've got the head of police is like, clearly on their side and keeping her there and everything. She has no one to help her, so she has to get out of this situation with very little assistance. She has a maid come in a funny scene where she's like,
This
gets
felt
her
very Paul Feig.
3 different kitchen carts
Yeah.
or whatever, like, because one is clear, one is a clear trash
I
bag,
did-
one's a drink cart.
I had a problem with that. Look, I'm not trying to
Oh,
be like a little woke little bitch,
here we
but
go.
I didn't like. I thought it would have been better and funnier if Anna Kendrick was like, "Bring your cart in, I'll escape" or whatever. If the maid was like, okay, here it is, idiot, it's clear. The way that they made that housekeeper be like dumb for bringing the cart in, but it's like, you asked for the cart, lady. Like, I don't know. I just
Also, it'd be different if she didn't speak English very well, but like she spoke English fine.
Yeah, she kept saying, "Stop speaking Italian. I understand
Right?
English."
So
Yeah.
right, the miscommunication was a little off there.
it's just I mean, whatever.
Also, the fact
Yeah.
that she walks right by those cops coming out of the room, and they're like, "No, I'm not. Maybe I'll look
Well,
inside
she
there."
comes out of there 3 times, I guess, with
I
different
know.
carts.
3 different carts.
I know. It's that's the other thing too, though. And again, in a better movie, right? We always talk about it. In a really good movie, you ignore little things, small details. We're picking this one apart because the script isn't the greatest.
I think, you know what it is a lot of the humor in this movie and these kind of movies is people being total assholes. And like, it's just not that funny to me. I don't like it. And even the way that they express people being cool, right, is like, oh, if you're just a dick, that's so cool. Like the mom of the crime family, she says like, you look like in that dress or something, and Anna Kendrick's like, I love her. Like, I just can't get on board. I don't know. I don't like it.
I know what you mean. It is very much that way.
And it's constant. It's everywhere. Like, everyone is speaking in the same way, and they're all mean.
If you go
It's
back and
the Vin
rewatch
Diesel Fast and Furious.
well, if you go
thing,
back and
right?
rewatch The Heat, that's Melissa McCarthy. Like the whole gimmick
Yeah.
is her character, and she gets, Sandra Bullock plays a great straight person. Well, you know what I mean.
The straight man.
The straight man.
The straight woman,
To Melissa McCarthy's character. But when everybody is like that, and I guess Anna Kendrick is the straight man, but she's surrounded by assholes. Like everybody.
And all of her jokes in this are very like sarcastic,
Yeah.
jerk.
Yes, that's
tone
true.
Stuff too.
Yeah, so she gets away. She goes and ends up meeting up with the FBI agent. She's like, we're going to get you. She's talking to the detective from the first movie. He's like, we've got you set up. We've been following this gal. The feds have been following this gal. You're going to be fine. Gets back with the FBI agent, and they're about ready to, take off to the safe house. And all of a sudden, the FBI agent gets stabbed in the back. And we see Blake Lively off in the crowd yelling something about a knife. And of course, Anna Kendrick, who is this kind of prolific true crime vlogger, keeps touching the fucking evidence.
I
Like when
hated
she
that
grabs
pulled
the
it out,
knife, and I was like,
holding
"What are you
it. I'm
doing?
like,
What are you doing? You
I know.
don't touch it. Don't touch it."
Yep.
So then she's on the run. Anna Kendrick ends up getting drugged. She wakes up in like the subterranean tunnel, and they pump her full of.
Aren't all tunnels subterranean?
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I mean, what about a tunnel? What about a tunnel that like goes
Train
through? I guess
tunnel?
train tunnel. That's not. I guess you're under the.
I guess.
But you
I
go-
mean, if you want to get technical, I
You're
guess
in a
it has to be
mountainside. You're not under
terrain.
You're
But you're going under the
underground,
mountain,
ground
right?
of the mountain.
Going through the mountain.
But it's still under the
interesting.
ground. The mountain is ground.
That's
What
true.
about a wind tunnel?
What about a wave tunnel?
Yeah,
What about
Yeah.
Sky Tunnel?
Yeah, sky tunnel.
I
idiot.
think this is called a bridge.
So they pump her full of truth serum, and she just kind of tells the whole story. She's like, "I didn't kill him. I think this person killed him. There's a third sister. Emily or Hope is still alive. Like or maybe she's alive. I don't know." And I do like where the mom's like, "We are getting nowhere with this gal. Like, just kill her." And again, that's a very funny line where Stephanie says, she's like, she was walking away. Like, maybe you didn't hear her all the way. Like, she's down the end of that hall and there's an echo. Like, maybe get some clarification before we do this. Lights go out. The bad guys get beat up in the most anticlimactic fight sequence I've ever seen. And Emily / Hope is back, and they're teaming
Yes.
up. And now they're going to figure this all out. And that's kind of what they do is they figure this out. Charity
You didn't
ends-
mention. I don't think you mentioned though that in that scene where she tries to stab who we think is Emily, that's when it's revealed
That-
that
yeah.
there's a third
the
sister.
tattoo is different.
just for the record, that so basically during the wedding, Emily seems to be acting very off. She's acting differently. And during that scene, the way she's talking is like very weird and slow in this way that Emily doesn't talk. And then it is revealed. And doesn't Anna Kendrick kind of like get a light bulb over her head where she's just like all of a sudden she's like, oh, you're the third sister. You're not really dead.
It's when they're in the bedroom. And she stabs her.
Pulls
right,
her
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't. She automatically she figures out though, right? They're like, you're the third sister.
Yeah.
Like she cracks the case.
I was curious. So she pulls the sleeve and sees the tattoo and says, "You're Charity," and I don't know what all of that means. Does she just mean that like, oh, that's the symbol for charity, and that made me think of charity, or was the tattoo different?
I think the tattoo is different.
Do they each have a But she was a baby when
Charity
so
wouldn't
why
have
would
the same tattoo.
She never met the other one, so
right?
Yeah, I didn't
get that either
as well.
Yeah,
because we see the tattoo on the security cam footage when we see the mom or the aunt and who we find out to be
FBI.
Charity.
My
later.
guess is she would have gotten it after the book was written.
Oh, maybe.
That the aunt had her get the tattoo, that maybe it's described in the book enough.
but Anna Kendrick knows it intimately that she'd be like, well, that tattoo's a little off.
I don't know, and I sure don't. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean anything to me if it is different, and I actually don't know if it is or not.
Or
Yeah,
not.
I don't know how she cracked the case exactly, and I know that we're gonna sound dumb if someone loves this movie and it's like it's so obvious. But at that point, she cracks the case. I don't know exactly how from that tattoo, but at that point, she figures it out, and then the girls.
Yeah, they
like,
go
yeah.
and like they're looking at.
Well, then the sister rapes the other sister.
Yeah.
So we can make jokes about
Make
it.
the joke about it.
This is the flashback when Emily when she rescues her and tells her about what happened. This part is so weird. Like, yeah, you can have a villain, you can have a bad guy that does really creepy stuff and commits sexual assault, and yeah, they're a villain. It's weird or whatever. But the entire point of them doing this was so they could do a callback to a joke from the first one where Anna Kendrick had sex with her brother.
No,
Matt,
well, she had sex with someone who she didn't know.
Right.
But it turns out
She
to be
did.
that it was her half brother.
Well, or wait.
Okay.
I think she was pretty. No,
She didn't know.
I think she knew at this point.
Matt just watched it, so
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
you
remember.
think she
But
knows?
I remember though it was consensual though, right?
Yes,
As
yes,
gross
yes.
as
She
it
knows
was,
it's her half brother. She knows it's her half brother, and he's like staying with them. I think.
yeah, it's not an
Okay,
assault,
okay.
but
She
there's
does-
a joke in the first one where
Well,
she
and
says,
then he sticks around. She knows it's his brother, and I guess they kept doing it because there's her son is potentially
question of if the son is
Yeah, because the joke is you better
Right.
hope that kid never does a 23andMe.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so the whole thing in this one is that when Blake Lively does the flashback, when Emily does the flashback, and we find out that it was a Charity, is that the one that is the third
Yeah.
sister? It's like Charity drugged her and brought her up to the room. She's like, I love you, and this is going to feel good. And she puts her hand in her pants.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Anna Kendrick's like, oh, sister. F-er. It's like, dude, she just got...
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then Emily is
she's like,
like,
how long you
that's
been holding on to
not-
that one? It's like,
That's not really a funny... I mean, it's not a funny joke.
No.
Like, I don't understand how that's played up for laughs.
Well, yeah, I
And
mean, they're
again,
trying
like-
to treat it like there's a moral equivalency. Like, you've been making fun of me
Right.
for this affair with my brother, and now you did the same thing. But, like, she was
No.
literally paralyzed.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah, like, it's just like,
Anna Kendrick and the half brother was consensual, and then so that she could call her, oh, well, you've been calling me brother effer, you're a sister effer. Like, she got...
yeah.
Like,
Like,
well, it
I
couldn't-
don't... It's not funny.
Why? Okay, Blake Lively's character, she's nuts, right? She's a bad
Sure.
lady. Why not
Sure.
have her be like, so go ahead, call me a blah, blah, blah,
Right,
sister effer, and then have Anna Kendrick be like, this is a totally different situation. Like, I'm
Right.
not gonna,
It's weird. I didn't get that part. That was the
No,
one
that
part
was-
of this
I
movie.
agree, that
as
was very
entertaining
weird.
as it was, but it's like, that feels wrong to
a weird
do that
joke.
for a callback joke.
Yeah.
That's just not the circumstance, right? It's all about the circumstances.
Right.
If she did something and she was into her sister for some weird reason, she could joke at her and be like, "Oh, you looked at your sister's boobs or something." You know what I mean? Like if she did something where it was
Sure,
like
sure, sure.
playful, "Oh, well, you're a sister F or whatever," but it's like, yeah, she drugged her, and
It was not in good taste, if you will.
No,
And,
not at all. And
What are we supposed to think as the viewer when Blake Lively's feeling up on Blake Lively? Like, is that supposed to be
what
hot?
I thought, where my mind immediately went, is Ryan Reynolds gave notes on this movie. He's like,
Oh, by the
I
way-
want to see some hot girl-on-girl action, but they're
only if
both
they're
my
both
wife.
my wife.
Yes.
What is with her hair in that first scene?
Which one?
It is. Hold on, I found the picture earlier. Her hair is so frizzy. What's this movie called?
Another
Humid
simple
Day.
favor. I remember
I guess.
her hair was really frizzy later in the movie, but it was like right, I think, after they got out of the pool or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, so Courtney noticed this, and the only thing that really makes it interesting to me is that she has like a hair care company.
oh, she does, yeah.
This is going to be the
there's
before
picture.
picture.
I sent
What
the
was that
picture.
alcohol they were drinking? I know it wasn't aviation gin, but does he have a vodka company that they were making, or a vermouth company or something? Because I'm like, they showed the same bottle in every scene.
Oh, I don't
and I'm
know.
like, it has to be a Ryan Reynolds owned thing.
I guess she just
Like,
got out of jail. Who am I to
Yeah, Mac.
judge someone's
Yeah,
hair?
she just looked a little wild.
Jeez.
Jails aren't
Is that
known
cool,
for their
though?
conditioners, that's for sure.
I mean, that's the thing. Look, I don't know what's supposed to be cool. I thought her big giant hat was cool, but is that maybe
She
that's
wears
a
that-
thing.
That,
Maybe
see,
that's like-
see, that is a joke out of something like out of a pair like a Naked Gun movie or
Yeah.
something. Like
Yeah,
the hat
yeah.
was so big. It was
She also
so-
has
know,
an umbrella too,
I
which
don't
I
think
thought
you'll
was,
get
is funny.
a crying game joke in the next Naked Gun. Probably not one of those jokes. I don't think.
No.
Nope, probably not.
It's just
The
too deep for me
OJ
to
joke
inside
is very
baseball,
funny
yeah.
though.
It was. That was a
It's
good joke.
it's a very
in the
good
trailer.
joke. So they take off and then they kind of pull over so Anna Kendrick can puke, and Blake Lively's like, "Hey, you're live right now," and they can't figure out why. So they tune into the mom blog that she has, and we see Charity, and she's got Hope's son. I don't think she has. She kind of cuts a piece of his hair off and throws it
Yeah.
off to the side, and they realize where she is. So the girls get there. When they get there, Allison Janney is there, and we kind of find out what the whole plan was. This is where we've laid it out before, but this is where the characters kind of pull a James Bond villain, if you will, and explain exactly what's happening. Anna Kendrick, being the smartest out of all of them, starts to play Charity against everybody, against Allison Janney, which is really the main person that they're trying to play against. So Allison Janney's like, look, we have to kill Stephanie and we have to kill Hope. And Chastity's like, no, like, we're just killing Stephanie because there's a connection between her and Hope. It again, in a ridiculous, it's not even a fight sequence, but like Allison Janney can't hold on to the gun to save her life. And they kind
It's so bad. The fight's so bad.
so bad.
The CGI when they push her over the edge.
Yeah,
was so bad. It was funny. Like when
It is
she kept
funny.
hitting the. It reminded me of when Homer Simpson in the
Yes,
the
in the
skateboard
episode.
But the
Does the
physics
jump.
of it with 4K TVs and the little character going boop boop.
Yeah,
She looked like a pinball.
it was so bad, but it was funny that she hits all these rocks on the way down. I was like,
Right.
okay, that's
So they kill Allison Janney, and then Hope, being Hope, realizes that like we both can't survive this. So
I don't understand this.
this to me makes
you go ahead.
This to me
maybe-
makes Hope the villain because she says like, "Hey, I need you to do me a favor," and the sister Charity takes the hit for everything.
Yeah,
But
because she
she-
loved her. Like, we got to say the whole movie, though. It
But for
is kind
what?
of on.
She did
do you mean?
everything, right? Like,
Well, but she kept. But no, but Emily was out of jail. She was like bailed out. She wasn't found innocent. They got her
On
out while she
appeal.
was awaiting trial. So she could still get locked away for life or whatever. So she took the fall, and now Emily.
But
doesn't
she
have
took
to
the fall.
sweat.
She took the fall as Emily, not as Charity.
for the
Right.
first
killing
murder.
the dad
Yeah.
and
for everything. It all piled on.
her
So now
dad
Emily's-
burning down the house and killing the other sister.
Correct.
Yeah, so
I
now
forgot about that.
Emily
You were
is
absolutely
free.
right.
Yeah.
She says in the beginning, right, that she's on a day, whatever day
Like
off
a
of
day
jail
pass.
or whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now it all makes sense.
So-
Great
So
movie.
Because
Never
the
mind.
sister is so desperate for a connection because she's very odd and she's very like, we are one the whole time. She's like, she loves her,
Yeah.
and she just whatever. And so she's like, you got to do this for me. And she's like, okay. And then
she does it, and she takes the
Got
hit
it.
for everything.
I will say the CG is very good.
This
Whatever they do with
CG
body
is
doubles,
very good.
Yeah.
I could not even
Ryan
spot the difference.
Ryan
And
Reynolds has insisted on it. There's
he invested all the.
there's a 40-minute deleted scene that only he
Yeah.
has access to.
But seriously, when Hope and
Charity.
Hope and Charity, when they are like in the same scene, it's not like cutting back and forth from.
They do
people
that every
across
once
It's
in a
not the
while.
Patty
each other.
Duke show.
No,
Right.
It's seriously they are together like right next to each other, and they both look
Well, they
like
did that
Blake
in Sinners.
Lively.
Remember how
It's-
good that looked in Sinners when Smoke and Stack were standing next to each other?
It does. It does.
Mickey
but they
17
weren't.
was
They
really
weren't
Oh,
even.
good.
sure.
They're good. I'm not saying they aren't, but one, this is a comedy.
That's
This is Amazon Prime comedy, and two, they're touching each other,
Right.
right? Like Smoke and Stack are on either side of a car, or on a car next to each other. But like we're talking about, I can't. Whatever. The bad guy Charity is laying on.
Well, they're kissing. I
Yeah,
mean,
they're making
I mean,
out.
that's they're touching. Yeah, I mean, exactly. And all those scenes, like they are right there. And I couldn't
Ryan
tell the
Reynolds
difference.
says, "Look, you just CGI Blake's face on my face. I'll go make out with her." But like, you just
"Oh, you think it was? I think it was Ryan Reynolds."
yeah, right.
Brownlee.
But it was very good CGI.
It was
There's
very good, you're
credit
right.
to them for doing that.
So we go forward a little bit. Anna Kendrick has written a second book about the events that happened in Italy. She's now going to raise Hope's child as her own, and hopefully he doesn't turn out to be a sociopath like everybody else in this family. And then we see Hope sitting at a fountain in Italy, and the mom shows up and basically says, "Look, I know what the deal was. I've known the whole time. Like, you don't get to be where I am if you don't, know all the ins and outs." And basically says, "You're part of the family now, and I just need a simple favor." And she hands her an envelope, and that's the way this movie ends.
And we get no
Is-
hint as to what that favor could be about because they have not even started to write
I'm
that
telling
movie.
you, the son is alive. That's what I think. I
Yeah,
think the next
yeah.
part is the
Oh, I
son.
don't
The
think
son is
so.
alive. Yeah.
I mean, they did leave it vague enough to where he falls into the fireworks hut that it's like,
Right.
show me the body. I didn't see a body, so you're right. They could
Check this out.
but
Hey,
yeah.
quadruplets.
Well, I
If
said
they
the
want to
same
go
thing to
straight
Katie. I go,
spoof, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I literally said that. I go, okay, they went back to that well way too soon. They did it. It's ridiculous. If they say quadruplets, it's
No,
over
Anna,
before it
Anna
starts.
Kendrick
There's
has a
no
twin.
way.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, now you dang right, Tom.
She
dang
she
right.
does. Tom talks about them all the time. Is that different?
They're on display in this movie too.
Thank you to
she
Paul
says
Feig.
that. She says.
Yeah, thanks,
Okay.
Paul Feig.
I saw Paul Feig pop up on an episode. So my wife and I always have a classic sitcom in rotation, and we just finished watching Newhart, and he popped up in an episode of Newhart.
Oh,
It's like-
interesting.
yeah, like
Cool.
Oh, that's
3
cool.
lines. I also saw him in
He,
an episode of the new WKRP.
Oh yeah,
Didn't know that was the thing.
I know him from Heavyweights. I mean, that's where I know him from. He plays
He-
Tim the counselor, the main guy in
Oh,
Heavyweights.
he
that
does,
likes the-
doesn't he?
That's that was the big one. For
I like
me.
the
That's a-
theory that Dwight Goodman
a good
is
movie.
the same guy in both of those movies. The Ben Stiller character.
Dwight Perkins or whatever.
Yeah, he's
Tony
Dwight-
Perkins and
He's Dwight
whatever.
Goodman in Dodgeball.
yeah.
It's the
Oh,
same.
yeah.
It's the
I
same.
mean,
it's
they're
the
the
same
same.
guy. Yeah.
Paul Feig.
Paul Feig
Did you
is
see
in
Paul
this,
Feig
too.
pop up in this?
is the
He's
lawyer,
the lawyer at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
walking up the
Mhm.
steps with her. So
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah, it's what? It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh,
if
wait.
you like the
Oh.
what?
Hold on. The pedophile coach or whatever.
Oh,
What was that all about?
So that
Why
was the
did
whole
they-
thing where I was like, "Is this in the first?" So basically,
I honestly thought they were setting up a prequel.
that's what I thought too.
Yeah. Like,
So in the beginning of this movie, they make a reference to this case. Like, she's a true crime vlogger.
This is
My
between
Favorite
the
Murder or
first
Morbid or any of
movie
that.
and this movie. This
What's that?
happens. This takes place between
Yes.
It's after
Right.
the first movie, but it's before this one.
Well, the only thing she's
occurs.
ever done in the first movie is what happens in that movie, right? She's
got a
Right,
cooking
right.
vlog where she
Yeah.
then it ends up kind of morphing into a true crime,
Pivoting,
and
right.
then
Which is-
she's doubled down since then,
Right,
and that's what she
right.
does now.
That's interesting to me, and I think that was a really good idea because there's all these people now that will like, I put on makeup while I talk about true crime.
There's a lot of that.
But they don't solve the crime. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a movie. You gotta like raise the stakes, but it's just funny that it's like, well, they don't become detectives. But
Jessica
Stephanie
Fletcher.
Only murders in the building.
There
the entire
are
thing is,
there are true crime podcasts that like focus on one crime and like really go down the rabbit hole trying to like find new clues, and like you'll see episodes of like Dateline NBC. Like every fourth episode seems to be they bring in a podcaster who had a podcast about this crime and that
Yeah.
they found some sort of clue. And
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
so I mean they're out there. I think they tend to be more niche because they focus on like one crime and like
Well, oh,
and,
actually,
and
here's a great example.
ridiculous detail.
The most recent example is the Golden State Killer. That, I mean, the Patton
She
Oswalt.
wrote a book,
She was writing a book,
yeah, but she
yeah.
and then the
she
guy
gets
will
that
tell
ball
you.
rolling, and that's how they
But
get
also,
that guy.
she's a real journalist, not just
That is
somebody
true.
that
Right.
bought a mic off of Amazon.
That is
and
true.
I say
That
that
is
as
true.
someone who has bought multiple mics off of Amazon
and have solved no
and
cases.
solved no
Hey, but-
crimes whatsoever.
Regardless, Stephanie did it. She works with the police. She says at times.
Yeah, well, and then
So-
that's the deal is like with that pedophile, they're not sure if the pictures that she talked about were actually his or if they were planted. But the guy did shoot himself
But
rather than
like
defend himself.
But it's so
Yeah,
it's so
but-
hard to
I
defend yourself
mean,
against an
true.
accusation like that. That
Yeah.
like that, and then at the end they completely like wipe that away. Like, oh, and it turned out he really did it. The end.
Yeah, like the whole point of that, to even bring that up, I thought while I was watching the movie, was she was struggling with the fact of whether or not she put an innocent man or led an innocent man,
Which is why
to
she
kill
stopped
himself.
doing the true crime stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And so
Right.
then at the end, right, when they wipe that out, I mean, I guess that gives her character like a weight off her chest to be like, okay, I can do this. But yeah, it was very weird the way they set it up. Is like it was a good character moment where it's like, oh man, I feel really guilty about this and whatever. And then there's like, oh nope.
Never mind.
I'll tell you what's weird because there is no book for this movie, right? There's only the one book.
So this is an original based
Yeah,
on
and
the
it doesn't
first
look
book.
like she wrote a sequel book. So like,
But I
there's
think didn't
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
she? It's the same screenwriters as the first movie, though. I think.
Well, sure, yeah. But I'm saying like that whole little side plot thing felt like something where you'd say, I thought that was kind of stupid and weird, and then someone would go, oh, in the book it's way more fleshed out. Yeah, it makes sense in the book. And then you're like, yeah, but they didn't do it in the movie. And like, whoa.
I think this is very, I'm just guessing, but I think this is very much created as a response to the Knives Out movies and the success of the Who
I can
Done
see
It,
that,
and
yeah.
and like, well, we already have this movie and it's surrounded a mystery. Let's make our comedy mystery and with all the twists and turns. But the problem is the writing just isn't as good, while entertaining, but like it's nowhere near as good as those two Knives Out movies.
No.
yeah.
For the mystery, right? Like where you can piece together the clues, because we've just talked about it, and unless we're completely missing this incredibly genius screenplay, like there's all these plot holes and we don't understand it. But like with Knives Out
It all
and Glass
fits
Onion,
together, yeah.
you follow it
Yeah.
along and you're like, this is genius, this is brilliant. It all goes together, and so this is fun, but it's not a great mystery.
And speaking
I don't
of
think.
Ryan Johnson mysteries, Poker Face is back on Peacock.
Oh yeah,
so-
that's right. That's right.
Oh, I need to watch that. I only
It's
watched
really
the first
good.
episode. I need
It's
to
so
go back
good, and that
watch it.
first one is just putting. It's not really representative of what the show. Because
Yeah.
after that, it becomes more of a mystery of the week's show, and that's just kind of putting all the pieces in place. Even there is a
Yeah.
mystery in that one, but like,
Right.
it doesn't feel like the rhythm that the show becomes. So,
Yeah.
but
There you
it's
go.
excellent. Yeah. So anyway, I guess that's it for this one. Let's go around the virtual table, and everyone can say where to find them.
This is Joe. You can follow me on the Twitter at JoeyButts, BUTTS21, and all of the other social media platforms. Also, I did an episode of Binge Movies. We talked about the films of John Milius. Never want to do that again, but it's a fun episode. Jason and I have a good time.
I don't
it's
even
in his-
know
it's
that
in the feed.
name. What is he made?
He did Conan the Barbarian. He
Oh,
did Red Dawn. He did the ones on this show are Conan the Barbarian, Red Dawn, Big Wednesday, Dillinger, and then another one.
Okay.
He's from St. Louis, and he's right wing as fuck, and it shows in all of his movies.
Cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Thanks, Jason. The episode's out there.
hey, they can't always
That's
be
true.
camp classics.
I don't get to I don't get to talk
or
about De
video game
Palma for
movies.
4.5 hours.
This is Kevin. Follow me on Twitter at KevinRBrackett.
This is Matt. I'm going to be at my cousin's wedding today in Piedmont. I don't know how you would hear this in time, but
Not the way Kevin
We live
edits.
stream these. We live stream this.
if Kevin gets this thing pumped out and you're listening to the day of the recording, come down to Piedmont, Missouri, on their farm and just stop by, say hi. I'm sure there's gonna be extra food and stuff. Let's party.
Okay, and you could find me on Blue Sky and Threads at Tom O'Keefe Jr. or on Facebook at facebook.com/Tom O'Keefe. Find the show online at facebook.com/Real Spoilers. Don't forget our Patreon. And I'm just realizing that I was so caught up in trying to watch the movie and do some work that I forgot to write an outro. Whoops. So I don't have a spoiler.
No
line
spoilers for
anybody,
you.
so-
That's what we get.
Yeah, that's what you get. So anyway, so that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, you've been warned.
Get ready for a spoiler. Won't say it twice, cause we already warned you.